Hello, I'm Mark Goldbridge. Welcome to the United Stand. Louis van Gaal, in or out? I can't believe people are in, but we've got to respect that. And the point of this today is really to drill down into that and to the whys as to why I am Louis van Gaal out. Apparently it's plastic. Apparently you're not a real fan. I find that total nonsense. I'll explain why in a moment. But reality is, when you look at it, Louis van Gaal came out yesterday. In the last 6 league games, he's taken 3 points from 18 points. Hardly scored in any of them games. Performance has been really poor up until yesterday, and people are suddenly changing their minds, saying that he said it himself. There's no reason for me to resign. There's no reason for you to resign from going in the top 4 to now 5 points off the top 4. 6 winnable fixtures, and you've taken 3 points. Not good enough. Not good enough at all. And I was reading in a paper, Manchester Evening News today, from one journalist that it was real. The real Man United fans were at the ground yesterday, applauding Louis van Gaal and backing him and the players. I find that really arrogant, and it's an agenda that comes from Ed Woodward for me. It reminds me a lot of David Moyes now. My frustration and the reason I want Louis van Gaal to be sacked is because I want top 4. I don't want another where we were 3 years ago with Moyes, where we miss out on top 4, we rebuild again. There's an opportunity now to get somebody in and get top 4. And we're Manchester United. Somebody said last night, top 4, is that the limit of what we want? I totally agree with you, but this season it has to be. I think the league was there to be won this year. I think we're going to have a horrible situation where City or Arsenal win it, which just shows you how poor the league is this year, because we could have won this league this year. And the fact that fans are now, or some fans are now saying give Louis van Gaal a chance. He's had 18 months, and last night against Chelsea, if you think that's good, he played not to lose that last 20 minutes. He brought Phil Jones on, Borthwick Jackson. They were defensive substitutions, and he played not to lose against a team we should have won. And I tell you what, I'll go as far as to say the first half an hour to half time, Manchester United were very, very good and very good compared to what they have been. But Chelsea didn't have Costa. They were totally toothless, and they still had at least as good a chances as we did. I will say Martin Atkinson should never referee Manchester United v Chelsea. He's an abysmal referee. But why are we relying on referees? On the balance of the play, it was a draw. It was a draw, I think, was a fair result. But Chelsea could have won that game, and they are 3 points, 2 points off the relegation zone at Christmas. So you are where you deserve to be. They didn't have their best player. Well, they certainly didn't have a striker, and we ran out of steam in the second half. The energy had gone. So because we didn't lose, and because Louis van Gaal manipulated the situation and played not to lose in the second half, he stays in a job. Because if he lost yesterday, he gets the sack, and the fans turn on him. But my big thing is, if you don't want to turn on him, that's fine. The board are mugging us off. They are mugging us off. Woodward is mugging us off. Because at the end of the day, if you Louis van Gaal in now and you weren't a couple of days ago, all you're doing is falling for his little marketing ploy of Louis van Gaal in, and that's what Woodward wants. He doesn't want to sack Louis van Gaal because he doesn't want to lose his own job, because he's made 2 terrible appointments now in Moyes and Louis van Gaal, and if he sacks Louis van Gaal, then he makes himself look stupid. There is no appetite from the board or Woodward to sack Louis van Gaal. They won't do it until the same thing happened with Moyes. The Champions League is out of the question. So as fans, if it's your club, you should be being vocal about it, and I am vocal about it because I don't want Louis van Gaal in my club. That's not really representative of the United Stand. I was arguing with Alex last night on Twitter about it because he was saying it's one of the best performances we've seen. Keep him till the end of the season. I don't agree with that. I want to get top 4. We won't get it if Louis van Gaal stays, and Woodward won't sack him until it's physically impossible for us to get that top 4, because we're not a dynamic club. We are a methodical club with people who don't really understand football running it, who are exceptional when it comes to money, and that's what it's all coming down to. And they are praying now that Louis van Gaal can get us top 4 because it will save their bacon, and it's not going to happen. We are 5 points off 4th place, 8 points off Leicester. Will they get top 4 or not? I don't know. As I said, we've just had a run of very easy, well, not very easy, of winnable fixtures. I came out with the ridiculous comment a month ago that we would be top at Christmas looking at those fixtures of Norwich and everybody like that. It didn't happen. But our next few games, in case people don't know, considering we are 5 points off the 4th place, and we've got to go to Spurs, Liverpool and Man City in the second half of the season, but they're not our next few fixtures. We've got Swansea at home on Saturday. I'm sure we will win that, and then the Louis van Gaal in brigade can get bigger. But after that, let me just read this out to you. We've got Newcastle away, Liverpool away, Southampton at home, Stoke at home, Chelsea away. So the next 5 games, we could be further than 5 points off fourth place, and then it's gone. It's gone. The opportunity was there to do this now. And just very quickly, I'll say this honestly. I'm absolutely very disappointed with the board and the players at the moment. Louis van Gaal should have been sacked. He should have gone. Simply, Louis van Gaal should have been sacked because we were playing against Chelsea yesterday. I read a review of the game against Chelsea, and it was two teams playing out an entertaining 0-0 draw without a striker. Well, Chelsea's striker's injured. We haven't got a striker because we've got a manager for 18 months who got rid of all our strikers, banked on Rooney, who's scored like 2 goals this season, and there's no excuse. You cannot find an excuse for Louis van Gaal about the current state of the team. If you're saying, oh, it's a work in progress, he needs to bring more players in. He's the one who left us in a position where we don't have a centre-back to play with Smalling, we've got to play Blin there. He's the one who left us with a thin squad. He's the one why we haven't got any strikers. He's been here 18 months, not 8 minutes. This is his squad that he's built. He's only here for 3 years. He'll probably only be here for 2. He's probably only got 6 months left. And this squad is in tatters, let's be honest. And that's what the Chelsea game is for me. And also, if you suddenly Louis van Gaal in, fine. What I would love to do in the comments section is people, instead of arguing amongst each other, because we're all passionate Man United fans, I think everybody, whether you're in or out, is being mugged off by the board who don't want to sack him. You know, millions of fans who love Manchester United and want us to do well and can see that we can do well. We're all being dictated to by Ed Woodward and his wallet and him not wanting to make himself look an idiot by doing what everybody knows he should do, and that is sack Louis van Gaal. That's what's happening here. So don't argue amongst yourselves because that's exactly what he wants. But if you are Louis van Gaal in, do get commenting below. I want to know why you are, and we'll reply to it. But the last 4 games before Chelsea, he's picked Fellaini. Beyond 18 months, he's picked Fellaini consistently. That's sackable in itself for me. But the football's been poor for 18 months. This is where I get on the players a little bit. Because last night, that first 45 minutes, I was even saying things like, who's done the team talk, who's picked the team? Because this is not how Louis van Gaal plays, and he's picking players he's been ignoring for a long time. The team is totally unrecognisable. Now, yeah, fantastic. If he'd been playing like that for the last 18 months, I'd be like, give him time. We're going places. And if he can turn it round from here, I will come on here and happily do it. I've got no agenda that I want Manchester United to lose or Louis van Gaal to fail. If he can turn this round, I will come on here and go, brilliant. Because you know what? Adidas. Manchester United is what it's about for me. It's not an agenda to get somebody out. I don't revel in like us doing badly. I want us to do bad. I want us to do really well. And if he can turn this around and they can play like yesterday and they start scoring goals and we get top 4, I'll be happy, give him another year, that's fine. It won't happen. It won't happen. It's not going to happen. It's not a fantasy. It is not going to happen. And why do the players, especially Wayne Rooney, he was brilliant last night. He wasn't man of the match, but he was brilliant last night. Best performance I've seen from him in 18 months. Without doubt, he's been averaging a 4 or 5 out of 10 consistently for 18 months and he's our captain. Last night he was an 8. I don't think he's a number 9, and I think we were toothless up front and he was dropping into Herrera's position too much, but that's by the by. As a performance, it was good from Rooney. Where's that been for 18 months? It's inexcusable for our captain to be absolutely abysmal for 18 months, and then when the manager's job is on the line, he puts in a performance like that. And a lot of the players did as well. I don't think that's good enough. I don't think that's right. And I think actually the players and Louis van Gaal mugged themselves off against Chelsea last night because we know what we've seen for 18 months and then we see that. It makes them look complete and utter mercenaries. That it takes your jobs, your reputation, your careers on the line, and then you produce what the fans know you can produce. And 18 months before that, we've had to endure total nonsense. If Louis van Gaal stays, all last night did is show that your philosophy's wrong, your selections are wrong, and you've had to change and rip it all up to keep your job. And if he rips it all up and starts again, then the people who are Louis van Gaal out actually win and are right, because his philosophy, as people have been saying for a long time, doesn't work. What happened last night is he ripped it up and for whatever reason let them do what the attacking players want to do and express themselves. It was entertaining and it worked. So the man that Woodward employed, the man that Louis van Gaal says he is, he's mugged himself off, because last night wasn't that. It wasn't that at all. Only the fans can change this situation. The board see fans as money. That's what they do. We know that. And if they booed and gone mad last night, then maybe it would have forced him to be sacked. I think the power is with you. It's with Man United fans. I don't want Manchester United fans to be divided and argue amongst each other. If you Louis van Gaal in, by all means be that, but think about why you are, because ultimately I think we are now being manipulated by the media and Ed Woodward especially in the board, who are trying to promote Louis van Gaal, saying he's the man for the job. And Louis van Gaal comes out with these he's an arrogant man, but very confident statements of there's no reason for me to resign, the board are 100% behind me, and so are the players. Well, there's every reason for you to resign. You've just messed up a whole season. We're out of the Champions League, which if you're a viewer of the show, you'll know I'm not over that at all. I think it's a disgrace that we're not in the Champions League from the group we were in. But then you add that to the last 6 games against the likes of Bournemouth and Norwich and West Ham and Stoke, and the points we've lost. And we only drew yesterday against a very poor Chelsea side, and he's coming out after the match saying, I don't need to resign, I've got the players and the board behind me. It's a disgrace. In 2015, not one of our players has reached double figures in the Premier League. That is a disgrace. He's had the most nil-nils any Manchester United manager has ever had. That is a disgrace. Where we are, he is 100% sackable. He should be sacked. He won't be sacked, but I just don't think we should be fooled by this. And I think people, just because we played well for half an hour against Chelsea last night, who are a poor side, who are in a worse situation than us, who won't be getting Champions League football, probably like us, and we are like, oh, this is better. I'm sure we'll beat Swansea. I'm not sure. We should beat Swansea, but my big thing is, the ship has almost sailed now. I don't think we're going to get top 4, and I feel really down about that. And I blame the board 100%. They had an opportunity to get rid of Louis van Gaal probably before Christmas, and we have wasted 5 points against Stoke and Chelsea. I'm sure we picked the points up against Swansea, but we can't afford any more draws. We are 5 points off 4th place, and Spurs are doing well. Arsenal aren't going to be caught. City won't be caught. Liverpool. There's a bunch of teams behind us that are coming fast, especially Liverpool, and we are going to be a bit cut adrift of 4th place, and that is a disaster. And he'll be. What really frustrates me is they'll sack him when we can't get 4th place anymore. We're Manchester United. We should be sacking him now, getting somebody in and getting 4th place and doing something positive. And it's just not happening. So do get commenting about that. For me, it comes down to some people are even saying there's a lot of positivity around Louis van Gaal at the moment, and I'm even reading things like. Give him till the end of the season, then we'll get Pep. I mean, that is the biggest fantasy I've ever read. Pep Guardiola is going to Manchester City. No way would Louis van Gaal sit in post till the summer for Pep Guardiola to get his job. Louis van Gaal is in a job at Manchester United because the board are 100% behind him and are basically saying, you're here for the next year and a half. That's the situation at Manchester United at the moment. Whether you're in or out, that is the situation. Don't kid yourself that he's here till the end of the season and then he'll be replaced. Not going to happen. If they back him, they back him. Anything else I wanted to cover really? Well, I think hopefully I've covered it. Only the fans can change it. Woodward is protecting his backside here. He doesn't want to be made to look an idiot and potentially lose his own job, although the rumour is that he's treated like one of the family by the Glazers, so that may never happen. But it's taken 18 months for us to see the United way under Louis van Gaal, and that was for the first half yesterday, and that goes with the players as well. Why has it taken so long? Because his philosophy has had to be totally torn up. He won't turn this round, and if you are Louis van Gaal in, you can't complain in 2 or 3 months when we're not 4th. If he gets it, I'll come on here and I will be more happy than anything. But it's such a rarity that it gets turned round, and if he turns it round, he's mugging himself off anyway, because this last night was not his philosophy at all. That's not the way he plays. That's not what he's been trying to do for 18 months. So effectively, we're asking a manager to not do what he believes in to stay in a job. It's farcical, really. But and I think the players are culpable as well. I really do. But Cortez, Chelsea got his first clean sheet, says everything against Man United. 8 games without a win. Chelsea are a relegation side, and we did play with no striker last night. But real fans support Louis van Gaal, apparently. I think that's absolute nonsense, and it does stick in my throat a bit that we had an opportunity to win last night. We need to win. We are 5 points off 4th place. I keep saying that. And he did a selfish thing last night. He played to draw. He played not to lose in the second half to keep his job. That's not the Man United way. We need to close in on 4th place. That game was there to be won, and he played to not lose so that he could keep his job. And he kept his job, and people are backing him now because he's totally mugged off himself with the philosophy, because Ed Woodward is sending it out there that we are not a sacking club, when actually it's nothing to do with not being a sacking club, because that's a myth anyway. We had a manager for 3 decades. We are a sacking club. It's just we had the best manager in the world for 3 decades. Woodward's putting that in the media because he wants you lot to believe it, to keep his job, to keep his reputation intact. And whether you are in or out, the reality is we're all being dictated to and manipulated by a man who doesn't understand football, is fantastic at business, and doesn't want to sack somebody he's in awe of because it makes him look stupid. And whether you're in or out, that is the fact at the moment. So don't fall out amongst yourselves. Get commenting. That's what the United Stand's all about. Comment below whether you're in or out. People will reply. But hopefully I've covered exactly why I'm out and he needs to be sacked. I don't think he will do, but I can't see anything positive at the moment. And I just think if we're not going to get 4th place as things stands, and I don't believe in this whole get behind your club, you're a real fan if you're supporting Louis van Gaal, because actually I think we're just being mugged off like we have been for many years by a corporate company who run our business and make a lot of money out of us, when actually they treat it like it's their club. And yes, they own it, but it's the fans' club. And if the fans don't stand up and have a voice, then we may as well just sit back and accept the bad decisions after bad decisions that keep happening to our club. And I tell you what, we are being manipulated at the moment, because anybody else would have sacked him. And the fact that he can come out yesterday and say, there's no reason for me to resign, and you can throw stat after stat, you've been here 18 months, it's been rubbish football, you've created this squad, you've left it threadbare, you've created a situation where we can't score goals because you've got no striker, you haven't won a game in 6, we've only got 3 points from 18, we're not scoring goals, Chelsea are a poor side. I tell you what, Stoke would have come and beat us last night. There's a lot of teams who would have come and won last night. Yes, we played well, but Chelsea are abysmal on their knees and effectively don't have a manager. And because we play well at home for half an hour, everyone's like, oh, it's going to be better. I hope it is better. I want us to win games. I want us to beat Swansea, because that gap, I fear, is going to get bigger and bigger. Look at the next few fixtures between now and March. It's looking very, very worrying. And only a new manager could have come in. And we've got January as well, and they're going to let him spend a load of money. He's here till the end of the season. I don't think we're going to get 4th place. I'm really, really, really annoyed and depressed about it, because there's no way that our club should be in this situation. But back him if you want. Tell us why. Tell us what you're thinking either way. Get behind the United Stand and everybody involved in it, because it is a fan channel and we are all passionate about the club. I'm not passionate about who runs the club. I think we are being mugged off. But we're Man United fans. You make that choice. Thanks for watching. Like the video. Subscribe if you're new. It is the United Stand. It is your channel, so do get commenting. I don't believe in this having a pop at Louis van Gaal in fans, and I think these Louis van Gaal in fans who come in and have a pop at the Louis van Gaal out fans, calling them not real fans and plastic, just listen to what the actual argument is. And I tell you what, don't come back in March when Louis van Gaal hasn't got his top 4 and start moaning about it, because now is the time to make a change. Thanks for watching.